Alright boys, we are back, and this is going to be our final video for the Columbus Blue Jackets GM mode commentary. Alright, so we're going to do the season wrap, or the franchise wrap up. We're going to check out all the awards, we're going to do all that good stuff, don't you worry. And then we're going to go into our judging system as we always do. Now don't worry, we're going to have at least one more video after this in regards to which team we're going to pick for the next GM mode commentary. And I do want to change it up a little bit, so don't worry about that. That video is going to come out either tomorrow or the next day. Alright, you guys can suggest the teams. But in this video, it's just going to be a Columbus Blue Jackets wrap-up. Star status, yeah, whatever, I don't need to. Okay, so there you go. Stanley Cup champions, Columbus Blue Jackets. Calder Cup champions, Norfolk Admirals. There you go. 5-year GM, blah, blah, blah. I've read this like twice already. I don't need to do it again. You completed your career in hard skill level. Well done. Blah, blah, blah. Yep. Alright. Thank you very much. Alright, so we've gone as far as we can. Let's do a wrap-up here, okay? So first, we'll check out the awards for this playoffs here. And we can also see the last 4 years. And look at that. Yep, 3 times in the last 4 years. The Columbus Blue Jackets. That looks nice. That looks nice. President's Trophy. We did it. We got our President's... What a season. We won the President's and the Stanley Cup, and back-to-back. What a season. Clarence S. Campbell. Yeah, the Western Conference. Us again. Look at that, Prince of Wales, man. The Pittsburgh Penguins hate us. They hate us. Art Ross Trophy, Bobby Ryan. Yeah, that's why Anaheim had a great offense this year. Hart Memorial, Bobby Ryan. He must have had a great year. Oh, James Norris goes to Kevin Bieksa. Juice, baby. Juice got the Norris Trophy, playing on the second line. Way to go, Juice. Probably his high plus-minus. Lady Bing, Ryan Getzlaff. Holy crap. Calder Memorial, Ross Wyman. Maybe that's why Anaheim, man, they're winning all sorts of awards. Matt Duchene, Conn Smythe, 2 times in a row, back-to-back Conn Smythes. Has that ever happened? I'm sure it's happened back in the day. It hasn't happened for a while, though. Good God. Vezina Trophy, Jacob Markstrom. Man, we took home some hardware this year. William M. Jennings, Jacob Markstrom, yep. Bill Masterton, Ryan Parents. Frank J. Selke, Sidney Crosby, yep. Jacob Markstrom with the Ted Lindsay. Markstrom with 3 awards. Whew. Daniel Sedin with the Maurice Richard. And there you go. So what a great year. Great way to go out with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Absolutely here. Okay, so what we can also do, let's go into the contract so I can show you guys. Because a lot of you guys are saying that because the contracts are coming up in, everyone's contract is coming up at the same time, that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, and I'll tell you why. Alright, so first of all, this first year is going to pass, so it's really only this year that counts. Rick Nash still has 1 more year left on his contract at 8.72, but that's going to be fine because that's going to be cleared up because he's not going to want 8.7 in a year. That'll drop down to like 6, 6.5, maybe even 5.5 because his age is getting up there. Alright, so Rick Nash, Captain Nash, he's only here for 1 more year, but if I was the GM, I'd have to re-sign Nash. He's got to retire here in Columbus. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. We have Duchene. Hang on, I'll just go down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so for 4 years after this year, we still have Duchene, Hamonic, Yakupov. Hall we only have for 3 more years. Landeskog for 4. O'Reilly, excuse me. O'Reilly for 4. Goodbranson for 4. Alright, keep going down. DeHaan for 4. Johansson for 4. Yeah, okay. So we still have all those guys for 4 years. And all of them are under 4 mil, except for Landeskog. Except for Hall and Yakupov, our 2 first line. Well, I guess Yakupov's a second liner now, but our 2 top left wingers. So we're saving so much money. Now, you guys were saying that, what are you going to do when this year comes around? Well, I mean, that's a good problem for a GM to have. You know why? Because look, alright, so this year just passed. Next year, the whole team is back. Alright, where'd I go? Rookie goalies, my bad. Next year, the whole team is back. The year after that, Nash resigns. The whole team is back because we're going to have enough money. We don't have to sign anybody. We don't have to sign anybody else. Alright, maybe Grigorenko in a year or 2. But, I mean, we have everyone signed. That's the whole thing right now. So, next year, our whole team is together. The year after that, this whole team is together. The year after that, this whole team is together. Maybe not Taylor Hall. Maybe you want to trade away your Taylor Hall. But I'd say you got to keep Taylor Hall. He's one of our young prospects. Alright? And then the 4th year, what you do in the 4th year is you reassess your roster, okay? Because from here to from 4 years from now, remember, our team still has every draft pick, right? So we can almost start the rebuild all over again right now. And then in 4 years, we can see where we're weak, where we can afford to trade away some players. Because you're right, we're going to run into salary cap problems in 4 years, right? But what we can do is the same thing that we did when we traded away Carter and Vermette. Trade away, I don't know, one of our star defensemen like Goodbranson maybe, so that we can hold on to Hamnick and DeHaan. Trade away Goodbranson for 2 prospects. Unload his salary cap, okay? So you still have the amazing 1-2 punch, and you still have the depth, all right? You give up 1 guy for 2 more prospects. So yeah, our team is not going to be as good in year 4 as it is for the next 3 years, but that's going to happen to every single team, okay? If you're doing good, everyone's overall is going to be going up. You eventually do have to get rid of some players. But the thing is, everyone's going to be done on 4 years, so in that 4th year, in the offseason from year 3 to 4, the next GM can see, all right, who can I trade away? Who can I keep to keep us a good team? Trade away 1 forward, trade away 1 defenseman, all right? And then all of a sudden you have 4 or 5 top-notch prospects who are going to develop in the next 4 or 5 years, just like when we traded away Carter and Vermette, all right? So the process starts all over again, so that's not a problem. That is not a problem. It was a problem in New Jersey because everyone's contract came up the year I was leaving, all right? I'm leaving now. The next GM still has 4 years with this team that we have out there right now, okay? So it's not a bad thing. And look at this, okay? So our centers, sort, baby. Our centers, so yeah, Duchesne, O'Reilly, Johansson, Marchand, McClements. All right, so, I mean, McClement can still come back, but we got Cramarosa who's coming up as a grinder. All right, I mean, look at all these youngins. I mean, we give it like 4 B- potentials. They're not that good because they're, 23. This guy's in his 20s, so, I mean, that's not bad. But it doesn't matter because we still have these guys who are going to be playing for the next 4 years. So we don't really need any prospects just yet. All right? We're going to start drafting again, but that's why we have the draft picks still. Left wingers, Taylor Hall and Nail Yakupov, your 2 left wingers that you're going to have for the next, 8 years, it looks like. Okay? No problem there. You got some prospects down here. Look at these 2 B potential guys. All right? They might even be traded away in 3 years. But that's the thing. The GM can make that decision in 3 years. Are these guys ready to take over for Yakupov and Hall, or do you trade these guys away and try to keep Yakupov and Hall? All right? He's got plenty of options. Right wing, Nash, yep. Rash's got to stay. Landeskog, yep. Ruutu, Grigorenko, so there's our prospect right winger. So we got prospects for center, left wing, right wing. Another couple more Bs. Look at those Bs. Very nice. Defensively, look at Hamnick. Oh, he still has B potential and he's 90 overall. Hamnick, Goodbranson, DeHaan. So, yeah, one of these defensemen in year 4, 4 years from now, is going to have to be traded away. I would trade away Goodbranson, keep Hamnick and DeHaan because they'll be 29. You can sign them for another 5 years. They can play up till they're 35 and then trade them away. But, yeah, we're fine for that. Murray as well. He's 82 overall. He still has his B, 22 years old. So, I think you hold on to Murray, DeHaan, and Hamnick. Get rid of Goodbranson in 4 years. In 4 years. Carrick can come up soon. Quint can come up soon. All right. Pufall can come up soon. You got defensive prospects everywhere. All right. So, I mean, we're stacked. We're ready for the future. We're a stud of a team right now. The only thing we're kind of weak in is goaltending. Now, the reason I say weak is because we don't really have any studs to take over for Markstrom. Not to say that we got to trade away Markstrom. We still have him for another 4 years as well. But we don't have any of those 20 or 19-year-olds with a B potential. Torstensen's not bad, but he's going to be up this year. He's going to want a one-way contract next year. Actually, this year, sorry. So we might not be able to sign him for a backup again. And we don't really have any stud of prospects as goaltenders. So there's one area that we're weak. But again, 4 years, you can pick up a goalie within 4 years. You can draft a goalie within 4 years. All right? So I think that we've left our team in the best state I've ever left a team, okay? All the contracts are organized. Every player is young. You know what you have to do. You have all the draft picks in place. You have prospects in place for every position, except for maybe center and maybe goalie. But for those 2 positions, you have starters who are going to be starting for your team for the next 5 years at least, all right? So again, I think we had I think we left the future perfectly for the next GM. My bad. I think we're fine. So let's check out the last thing here. Where is it? Yeah, the GM tracker. GM tracker. All right. There you go. Yes, your statistics. So there you go. There's our 5 years. Look at that. First year, we go win 27 wins to the next year winning the cup. I don't know how that happened, man. Nabokov and Yager, what 2 free agent pickups, man. It was all Nabokov. It really was. I mean, we went from having 62 points up to 111. I think that might be a new record, honestly. Honestly, we had 284 goals scored on us in year 1, and then Nabokov comes in less than or more than 100 goals less. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Yep. Year 3, second round exit, which was a bit disappointing, but then we rumbled back. Stanley Cup in year 4 and a Stanley Cup in year 5 and a President's Trophy. Look at that. Woof. So we're getting better, and again, this team that just won the President's Trophy and the Stanley Cup is going to be together for the next 4 years at least. At least. So there you go, boys. There's the franchise wrap-up for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And just like always, we're going to switch over now into our judging system. How did GM Superb Man do in his 5 years in Columbus? Let's switch over. Alright, so you guys know how this works. It's broken up into 3 different categories. We got statistics, future, and general manager jobs, okay? So first, we'll start off, as always, in statistics. How did our team do over the 5 years on paper? Well, if you look at our overall record, we went 236 wins, 142 regulation losses, and 32 overtime losses. Now, considering, remember, we were the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's the whole thing. You got to have this in the back of your mind. We were rebuilding in the first year, why our wins could have been a lot higher if we didn't have that 1 year where we tried to tank. But still, if that record right there is a great overall record. All right, even if when you add in the overtime losses with the regulation losses, we're still way above 500. All right, a great record for 5 years, especially with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Our goals for, 1,213 goals for, and our goals against, 1,038. So again, I think that could have been a lot higher for goals for and a lot lower for goals against if we didn't have that first season where we tanked. But that's all right. That's all right. Our plus minus was 175. That's a great plus minus for goals and goals against. And our playoff record. Look at our playoff record. Did not qualify in the first year, but we did get the first overall pick or the second overall pick. It was something along those lines. And then all of a sudden, the second year comeback. I don't know what it was that year. Nabokov, baby. But our magical second year, once again, we go from the first overall pick all the way out to the Stanley Cup. We win the Cup in the second year. The third year was a bit of a disappointment considering we were a Stanley Cup champion the year before. But our team, again, wasn't as good as it was in year 4 and 5. Year 3, second round exit, but then we came back storming in year 4 and year 5, both winning the Stanley Cup. So our playoff record was outstanding. Again, remember, we were the Columbus Blue Jackets, okay? Yeah, we could have won them 5 years in a row, but still, coming from a rebuilding season in year 1 and going to that, a cup in three times in 4 years, outstanding. And to top it off, we actually won the President's Trophy in the last year as well, making year 5 a magical year. So if I'm going to take everything into account and the fact that we were the Columbus Blue Jackets, I'm going to give myself a 9.5 out of 10 for statistics, okay? Obviously, I'd like to say 10 out of 10 because it was a great job, but still, to get 10 out of 10, you can always do better, right? So that's why I don't want to put 10 out of 10. To get 10 out of 10, we make the playoffs the first year. We win the Stanley Cup 4 times in a row. We have another President's Trophy in there. You could have had a better overall record. So I think to be fair, I'm going to give myself 9.5 out of 10. Okay, so we'll move on to future now. Now, the future, this is where I think I did a great job, especially with the Columbus Blue Jackets here, okay? I mean, yeah, our goal was to rebuild them, but we've turned them around in like 4 years, and they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league. We're not rebuilding anymore. We are rebuilt. And here's the thing. We can keep this same team together for the next 4 years, no matter what. No matter, even if the guys don't want to trade them away, there's not going to be any salary cap problems. These players that are on our team are starters. You maybe have your grinder back there, Moss, who might not be here, but the key players on our team are going to be on the team for the next 4 years. Okay, so we could potentially win the Stanley Cup 6 years in a row. Okay, you don't need to have them 8 years. It'd be nice, but 4 years, that's fine. They're going to take off until, 28s, 29s, all right? And we also have plenty of winger prospects and defensive prospects. I showed you guys the list. Our centers, we only had some B-minuses. We didn't have any Bs. But Duchesne and O'Reilly are centers of the future. We have our 2 young guns. And that's the same for wingers. But we actually do have some winger prospects. Grigorenko, that Uli Sniper guy. We had a few other Bs, and defensively we had three B potential defensemen, I think it was. So yeah, eventually we're going to have to trade away a winger and a defenseman just to free up some salary cap. But we have young guns who are going to be ready to go in 3 or 4 years to replace them. All right, or maybe package them together in a deal, just like we did with Kavanaugh and Shaw. Okay. Yeah, if you look at players like Hall, Yakupov, Duchesne, Landeskog, O'Reilly, Johansson, Hamonic, Goodbranson, DeHaan, Murray, and Markstrom, they're all already NHL starters, and they're all under the age of 26. That's what I mean. We don't really need prospects right now because our team is set up for the next 8 years. If I could sign them all, they're all young enough to play for another 8 years at least. Okay, so that's what I mean about future. The future is very bright. And all these players are going to be on our team for 4 years. They all have amazing contracts. Nobody's over $5 million except for Nash. That's fine. They only have 2 forwards above $4 million, Yakupov and Hall, just over $4 million. And everyone else, oh, Duchesne as well. Sorry, Duchesne. And everyone else is under $4 million. Everyone on our defensive core under $4 million except for Bieksa. But he's not a defenseman of the future. He's a defenseman of right now. But everyone else for the future, under $4 million. So that makes it very easy to move these contracts. Remember what I said, the general manager, if he wants to move them, he's going to be able to get back a lot for them to rebuild. Not to rebuild, to reload, basically. So amazing contracts, everyone's young, and the one old guy that we have on our team, Captain Nash, he still has 3 good years in him. He's 91 overall. He's still going to be a good player for 3 more years, and his salary is actually going to go down in 1 year. He's not going to want 8.5. What we're paying him right now. He'll probably want 6, 6.5. So we're going to save more salary right there. So the future, for me, I got to give myself a 9.8 out of 10. The only thing that could have made it better is if I could have signed all these players to 8-year-long contracts. Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been nice. But we couldn't do it. All right, we had to sign them to 6 years when we did it. But and they only have 4 years left. But I still think that the future is very bright for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And last but not least is general manager jobs. Now, this is very interesting because I was trading people away like crazy, going through free agency like crazy, drafting, draft picks. I had a lot of jobs to do. Remember, Nash and Johansson are the only remaining Blue Jackets from year 1. Those are the only 2 guys who stayed on the team. So I've traded for every other position except for the first line right wing and the second line center, basically, okay? And Johansson wasn't ready to go until, like, what, year 2 or 3? So, yeah, we have completely rebuilt the team. And you guys were saying, you know, there were some bad trades in there, but at the end of the day, look at our team right now. I think every trade that I made was good, and it did have a purpose. Especially, I look back at the Ott trade. You know, giving up prospects for a grinder that I use on my 4th line. A lot of you guys were saying, oh, no, you shouldn't do that. At the end of the day, though, we had a plethora of prospects. We still have plenty of prospects. And you don't need prospects who are only 2 years younger than your starting crew. All right, our starters are going to be our starters for the next, 4 years at least, as I said. And then we can rebuild them, all right? So I think every trade was good. It had a purpose to it. And another trade, the Kavanaugh and Shaw for Taylor Hall, worked out great. Edmonton, they got 2 starters of the future in Kavanaugh and Shaw. But Taylor Hall was the perfect fit for our team. We needed that first or second line sniper. All right, we had every other position covered. We didn't have room for Kavanaugh or Shaw on our team. We picked up Taylor Hall. It was a good trade, and what? We got 2 Stanley Cups out of it. Oh, wait, 1 Stanley Cup, yeah. Because Taylor Hall, we traded for him in the 5th year. So we got a Stanley Cup out of it. And free agency. Free agency was a huge part of our success, especially for year 2. All right, when you come off of year 1 and you trade away everyone like Vermette, Carter, everybody, and you somehow win the Stanley Cup in year 2, it's because of our solid free agency. The biggest signing in free agency had to be Nabokov. That single-handedly won us the cup in year 2. Evgeny Nabokov won us the cup. And he was a good mentor. I'm going to say it. He was a good mentor to Jacob Markstrom. He was a good backup there for year 4. I think year 5, year 4. Yeah, he was the backup for year 4, right? I think he was, yeah. I know he was there for year 3. But he was the starter in year 3, and then I gave him the backup job in year 4. Yeah. So and who else did we sign in free agency? Yager. I mean, we got Tomo Rutu. We got Moss. We got we didn't get Marchand. Did we get BX? No, we traded for BX. There's another player. I'm forgetting him. Yager. Did I say Yager? Can't remember. Yager though, our first line left winger. Remember year 2? All right, year 2. We also had Markov, who was this free agent signing. Yeah, it's all coming back to me. Our veterans, that's what it was. Those players. We were a big-time user in free agency. And not to mention all the young guns that we also signed. So, free agency, a huge part of our success. For me, if I'm going to rate myself, I got to give general manager jobs 9.9 out of 10. I know it seems like it's up there. I wanted to give myself 10 out of 10, but again, you can't make it perfect because then it seems like there's no room for improvement. We obviously could have made some better trades if they were out there, but still, we turned the Columbus Blue Jackets around from year one, getting, last in the NHL to winning the Stanley Cup 3 times in 4 years. So, did something right, and our team is ready to go. The trades were good, the free agency signings were good, all right. The draft picks, even though trading away the draft picks, we had the first 3 picks in year 1, then we didn't need any other draft picks after that. All right, the general manager jobs, I got to give myself 9.9 out of 10. And if you add up every single score, then divide it by 3, boys, you'll get your score for me. I give myself a 9.73 out of 10. And it's been a great general manager mode for the Columbus Blue Jackets, our best one yet. Teams like New Jersey and Toronto, they already had some assets. The Columbus Blue Jackets, we had nothing. We had some players that we traded away, but they did good. The free agency got us a Stanley Cup in year 2, got all our young guys some experience. All right, Nabokov got us into the playoffs in year 3, more experience. Markstrom took over, allowing our young guns to come up, all right, making the trades, making the free agency signings, all of it. Our future is great. I think our Columbus Blue Jacket commentary was the best one to date. All right, it's going to be a tough one to top. But there you go, Columbus. I hope I proved your city proud. Proved your city proud. Yeah, that makes sense. I hope I made your city proud. And I put the Columbus Blue Jackets on the map as the most dominating team in the NHL. That's right, boys. See you guys next time.